In this video, I'm going to take a closer look at RTX in Battlefield 5, reviewing some gameplay and talking about both the current and upcoming features in the game. I'll give you my impressions on not only RTX in Battlefield 5, but also the 2080 Ti that Nvidia has provided me with, and of course this video is sponsored by Nvidia. You'll also have the chance to win a 2080 Ti with a custom Battlefield 5 backplate design. I'll bring you some more information on that giveaway shortly and include some more details in the description of this video. Now in this video we will be playing at 1440p on max graphics settings. I've got everything turned up to maximum. Now at the end of the day I'm a gamer and I'm not a tech channel, so doing something like this is a little bit different, but I thought it was an opportunity that was too good to pass up. RTX in Battlefield 5 is something that has been discussed by a lot of different people. It's something that's quite exciting to the gaming industry, and as Battlefield 5 is one of the only games that currently has RTX, it would be very beneficial for me to actually take a look at it, because Battlefield is kind of leading the way with this feature in terms of games that actually integrate it. And it'll be interesting to see how this develops over time, because it will almost certainly be in future Battlefield titles. So is it any good? Does RTX work? And is it worth having? To start things off, let's actually take a look at the card. As you can see from the background, I've got a couple of pictures of me installing it and a little bit of video footage as well. Now, I'm not used to doing this sort of stuff. I've recorded it on my phone and I'm sorry for the quality, but as you can tell, my setup is pretty understated. I haven't got many RGB lights or anything like that, but putting this card in was pretty damn awesome. It's got a custom Battlefield 5 backplate, which is something that I've never really had in any of my builds. I've never had anything Battlefield related. It's usually just a stealth black, or maybe I've got a couple of white items in my build as well. But overall, I think it's pretty nice. It's really awesome to have something custom in my build, especially as a Battlefield YouTuber. Now the card itself is from Accelerate. This is an awesome company when it comes to these 2080 Ti's, and to be honest, any graphics card that they come out with, it's always top of the line. They've got these custom cooling solutions as well, meaning that when you overclock your graphics card, if that's something you want to do, you've got that headroom there, and you can also be sure that the thing is going to be performing at a really, really high level. In addition to that, the card is of course a 20 series card, which means I get access to the new RTX ray tracing features, which is pretty exciting. I jumped onto Battlefield 5, and as you can tell from the gameplay in the background, it's pretty spectacular in terms of the graphics. The fairly recent DXR patch substantially improved the performance of RTX ray tracing in Battlefield 5, which is a good thing. I know when the game first launched, a 2080 Ti would get around 60 FPS at 1080p, which is just about playable, but not really what most players were looking for, considering the amount of money people had spent on their rigs. I know Jack Frags reviewed a 2080 Ti back in October, just before Battlefield 5 came out, and he was saying a similar sort of thing, but obviously now things have changed slightly as RTX has become more optimized. As I mentioned at the start of the video, the gameplay you see in the background is actually being played at 1440p on maxed out settings. Now I was getting over 60 FPS for everything. The game looks absolutely stunning, and I seem to forget about all the bugs I've been complaining about in recent weeks when I was in the spectator mode watching other players run around and just taking in all this eye candy. Now my system comprises of an 8700K, 32GB of DDR4 RAM and this 2080 Ti. Previously I had a 1080 Ti in, and I have seen a noticeable upgrade with the 2080 Ti in certain situations. Now for someone like me, a content creator, it does make a lot of sense to have the best GPU, or at least one that can handle all of the processes that I put it through. I do a lot of rendering using NVENC. I don't stream, but I know that the 20 series cards can be very good for streaming, and I'm also into my games, and I do game a whole lot, and having a card that can handle everything that I throw at it is really, really nice. A bit more information for you on ray tracing, because I know a lot of people watching this video might not be familiar with what it is, but are interested in it, and maybe you're considering buying a 20 series card in the future. Ray tracing has been around for a while, but now we can do it in real time. It's come along a lot quicker than many people thought it would, and it is known as the holy grail of gaming graphics. That's the marketing blurb that you'll be given. The holy grail of gaming graphics, and to be honest, when you look at it, it is pretty special. Essentially, it means you're going to get some really high quality rendering and light behavior in games, leading to things such as high quality reflections in water, In Battlefield 5, it's most noticeable in glass, so in the windows of shop fronts, things like that, and in water, so puddles on the ground. DLSS stands for Deep Learning Supersampling and is a new RTX technology that uses the power of deep learning and AI to train the GPU to render crisp images whilst running up to 2 times faster than previous generation GPUs using the conventional anti-aliasing techniques. I'm not certain what all that means, to be honest, but all I like to take from that is 2 times faster. That makes a lot of difference to me, especially when gaming. Faster is better, and if I'm getting more performance for my card and it's also looking better at the same time, then I'll take that every day of the week. Both ray tracing and DLSS are exciting technologies, and with Battlefield 5 leading the way in terms of implementing ray tracing as a feature, my hope is that the next game will have it as standard, or at least integrate it to more of an extent than it currently is. Clearly ray tracing is absolutely stunning, and it's just a fantastic feature to have in a game, but is it something that you'd sacrifice a load of frames for? I'm not certain. I could play with it on. And don't get me wrong, with a single player I'd much sooner have ray tracing on than off, but for the multiplayer, I think it really depends on the sort of setup you've got. You've got to have a really beastly rig to make this thing work, and if you're running a 10 series card, then you just don't have access to it anyway. It's certainly something that I'm very excited for in the future, but right now it is still progressing, and evidently they are improving it over time, so you should still be excited for this feature. Personally, I'm a fan of high FPS and good visibility in FPS games. Visibility being a really important and relevant term when it comes to Battlefield 5. I need the high FPS to reduce the input latency and provide a smooth gaming experience, and having solid visibility helps identifying enemies. Battlefield 5 has certainly had its issues, and for regular viewers, you all know I've extensively covered the bugs and missing features that DICE need to fix, which is why I was surprised to see how well ray tracing has developed. It's still got a distance to go, that's for sure, but I was getting playable frame rates on max settings, albeit with a very strong PC. Now this means a couple of things. Firstly, it means that you can actually use ray tracing on Battlefield 5, take in the eye candy, and play multiplayer online with 60 FPS. You might have to have a good PC for it, but as with every technology that comes along, it always starts this way, so that's a good thing. Secondly, it also means that ray tracing will become something in games. It's going to be something that will be around. You're going to have it in all your single player games. You're going to have it in these campaign games, maybe your RPGs, where having a game looking as good as possible is what matters. Many people mod their games to make them look better as well, which is fantastic. For the screenshotters, for the cinematic creators, for anyone who is interested in making a game look as good as possible, RTX is there for you, and it is linked straight into Battlefield 5, and it will be in the future as well if all things go to plan. Now I'm really excited about that, and as I mentioned, it's great just to have access to it now. In terms of the 2080 Ti and every other task, just getting away from RTX for a second, well, it's exactly what you'd expect. It's a complete beast. It runs all my games at ultra graphics on my 1440p monitor, and the NVENC settings, as I mentioned before, are great for rendering, and I can render through things with ease. For those streamers out there, the new 20 series cards do have the advantage, especially when it comes to single PC streaming, but as I don't stream personally, I can't really give much more information on that from my own experience. Linked into that high resolution and putting things on ultra graphics, you've also got 11GB of DDR6 memory in this 2080 Ti, which is a massive amount, and that means you're going to be able to deal with most games on maxed out settings at those higher resolutions and consistently get really high frame rates, which is what you want with a card of this caliber. So that's it from this video. I've got some more information down in the description below. It's a bit of a different video to what I usually produce, and I'm not trying to sell you this architecture as a marketing pitch or anything like that. It's something I'm excited about. I'm working alongside NVIDIA for this video, which is very exciting for me personally, and I'm just showing you what I'm doing at home on my PC, the sort of gameplay that I'm now able to capture. Hopefully I'll be bringing some more of this RTX stuff to videos like the top plays, possibly with cinematic introductions using this new feature, or maybe to other videos as well where I take a look at Battlefield 5 in more detail. If you did enjoy, leave a like down below. I'm more interested to see your comments and opinions on this. Is RTX something you're personally excited about, or are you more interested in just getting pure high frame rates and you're not bothered about all of this eye candy, which I seem to be getting quite excited about? Let me know in the comments down below. Thanks for watching, and I'll catch you in the next video.